Okay, looks like everything's good. So, yeah. That takes care of Yavin. Next is Hoth. Oh no, this one's hard. Because basically the final couple stages for the Rebellion have very uneven reinforcement numbers. 51 Worldwide Fox Girl Classics. I've thought about picking up that game to stream, actually. I don't know if there's any narration there. Oh, can't see that. But there's a couple games I could toss out. Like, I put Project Diva on there, and then I realized, wait, that's a copyright nightmare. I couldn't even do a YouTube version of that at all without getting muted. So, like, why would I even consider that? So, like, more likely I would end up just swapping that out for Octo expansion. Because that'd be the same time period, too. 2017, 2018. No, wait. Diva would have been earlier. That would have been about 2014. Yeah, I had a huge Vocaloid phase. Let's play Ludo to go. Aiden, why do all my friends like this? Why do all my friends want to play Ludo? No? What do you want to play instead? I mean, we could just do Tabletop Sim. Because I already have that. Because I know Star has a story about Ludo, I'm pretty sure. Part of me wants to be like, get Aiden, Star, and one other person to try to play Ludo, and see how badly it goes. Because I've never played Ludo before. I don't know who the fourth should be. Ludo's the bane of existence, but you play it anyway? Oh. So, Clubhouse Games is definitely one of those games that I regret picking up when it was, like, really cheap for a bit. Because now I think it's gone up in price a lot more. I know it's available digitally, but I like physical copies of games. But yeah, it was pretty cheap for a while, but now it's gone back up. But I didn't buy it because I didn't have friends during the pandemic. Like, I'm gonna be real, I didn't really have online friends at the time. So I felt like, why am I gonna buy a game built around multiplayer for just playing it by myself? That feels like a waste of $40. But now I'm like, damn, I wish I'd picked it up. Because it was like 20 bucks for a point. Have you played Sorry or Trouble? I have not played either, I don't... What is the sensitivity on this? But yeah, I haven't played Sorry or Trouble. I don't play many board games, period. Like, I played Monopoly until I lost a round and I'm a sore loser. So I never wanted to play Monopoly again. This is a true story, by the way. It was Garfield Monopoly. I used to play Monopoly like every weekend with my mom. And then the first time I lost, I never played Monopoly after. Because I was very, and continue to be, not a great loser. I tend to be very childish sometimes. Not the Garfield Monopoly, not the Garfopoly. But like, I played Chinese checkers. I played, Our fights and strive have been pretty graceful. I've been trying to get better at not being as sort of a loser, to be honest. Like, conscious effort in more recent times. Plus, like, in general, this isn't... Like, because I sometimes would get very tilted at Strive, and then this is recent, too, when I was trying to lab out things for Dizzy. So this is within the last year, where I'd get very tilted if I got on a losing streak. So I'm trying to get better about my mindset of Strive, of just being less toxic, and less, like, harsh on myself if I can't perform well. And also, playing with you, it's like, it's a friend game, so it's a little bit different than playing with, like, complete strangers on the internet. But, like, again, I used to be a very sore loser as a kid, so I think I've gotten better at that. Then again, that's just kids in general, to be fair. This, I don't think, is very specific to me, and me alone. I used to play, like, regular checkers a fair amount. got tilted hard back when you were trying to get better 1v1 Smash. Yeah, I had to stop playing Smash. I tried with Ultimate, I tried a little bit with 4 as well, but it never really stuck. I like Pyro and Mytha, and I sucked it up and dealt with a lot of aspects of 4 of Ultimate, because I love Xenoblade 2 that much. But I also kind of suffered a lot. And again, I also had friends who were very much in the get good kind of mentality of like not really holding back at all. At least with Strive, I try to hold back a little bit. And by that I mean I'm literally trying to do fancy shit that I shouldn't be doing in like an actual setting at my skill level. Which actually evens things out a lot, because me trying to play optimally actually gets me in trouble more often than not. And it actually works as an equalizer, bizarrely enough. Like, with Dizzy, there's a very specific setup where you basically do a hard knockdown, and then summon the fish. And then dash, jump forward to get behind them, and just rinse and repeat. That's like optimal Dizzy play, and I've done it a couple times recently. But then the mix-up for that, because you don't want to be predictable, is you basically dash, jump, and then air dash back to hit them from the front. So you're basically trying to get them to block from behind and then fake them out and then block from the front. So like that's a lot, to be honest. That ain't easy. So because of that, I've been trying to practice that, specifically when playing with friends lately. And part of the reason I'm playing it and practicing it with friends is because I'm bad at it, and it actually is making matches feel a little bit more fair, because I'm not just spamming the easy move that gets instant results, basically. Because I could just keep freezing, but then I'm not learning anything, because freeze is actually bad, because it makes the burst gauge fall faster for some reason. So yeah, that's literally been my philosophy with playing Strive with friends, is, I'm trying to basically lab stuff out, which means I'm actually playing worse than if I was just using the easy, cheap stuff. But again, it's been fun. I feel like I'm getting better at the game, and I feel like my friends are getting better at the game too. Because we're all just kind of trying different stuff, seeing what works. But yeah, specifically with Dizzy, her setup is so weird in terms of like optimal like mix-up loop that I botch it so much that I end up actually playing pretty poorly when I try to go for it at this point, which is why you practice, so you get better at it. But again, it is interesting how it's making me actually have worse results in some ways, but long term it should help me have better results. But such is the way of practicing, is you have to fail to get better. You gotta learn. I didn't mean to pick the infantry again, I meant to pick the heavy artillery. So oops. Oh, that AT-AT is having a time over there. Oh wait, the shield generator is gone. Oh, that's not great. So the shield generator is like a permanent spawn until it blows up. And similarly, the AT-ATs are like a permanent spawn point. So you basically can't time over the Empire in this stage, because they will always have an AT-AT, they respawn. I really wish they didn't. It feels very cheap that you can't timer scam the Empire like you can with the other sides and other stages. And also they start with like 50 more reinforcements than the Rebellion, because, you know, they have the upper hand in this fight in the movie. So like, this is a very difficult level. The end game of Battlefront actually does get pretty challenging. So yeah, I'm actually faring pretty well, I'd say. Ow. As I immediately get shot in the face with a laser bolt. But yeah, you can do the tow cable around the AT-AT leg strat, because you're having to rely on the CPU in my case to actually fire the tow cable, I'm not gonna count on it. That feels like a waste of time. Fun thing, in Battlefront 2, only on PC, and I don't know if the Classic Collection has it, there's a mode called Excel, which does not have the command post gameplay. It's completely based on reinforcements, but you have like way more reinforcements on the field at one time. It's really cool, and again, it's only on PC, and maybe, oh sorry, Tauntaun, and maybe the Classic Collection, but again, the Classic Collection I should also talk about at some point. That version is like notorious at this point because it is simultaneously it's been patched into a pretty okay state, but it's still pretty rough from what I gather. Like it's still pretty rough around the edges, to my knowledge. There's a lot of glitches they never got around to fixing, even though they said they would. So like, typically the Classic Collection is not recommended as a way to play these games, since unlike a lot of the games, they haven't ever been delisted. Because sometimes with re-releases, they get delisted on the original platform, like original versions get taken down. Sonic Generations is a fairly notorious example of this, where a lot of classic Sega games all got pulled to basically, like, slap into a different release, and it's very frustrating, because Sonic Generations is a game that I really like, but it kind of didn't run great on Sonic X Shadow Generations. I had a lot of weird glitches that I'd never experienced before. I was playing on Xbox too, so can't even blame the Switch version like with Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors also was just broken on every platform too, like the weird save quirks on PS5. Like everyone was talking about having save corruption on PS5, it felt like. On PS4, I mean, it wasn't actually technically on PS5, it was only back compatible. But yeah, Sonic Colors Ultimate makes me sad, because I like Sonic Colors a decent amount. I wish it got a better remaster, one that actually would have been, you know, worth a damn. It was pretty bad at launch. Again, the problem with Sonic Colors Ultimate is a lot of people were faking things with emulators too, which just made it harder to actually catch real glitches, so the whole Sonic Colors Ultimate situation is such a mess, and it makes me sad, because like, I do enjoy the game. I do wish the whole launch period of that had been less of a hot mess. This is down to the wire. 2029. We have a chance of still winning this. We gotta play smart though. Hey, guess who's not playing smart? Ow. Ah. Panic. Yep. At least friendly fire's off, otherwise I could have easily have died there. Yeah, they still have a 10-unit lead, which isn't my favorite thing in the world.
Let's go.
They're all camping the other command posts, so this might not actually be that bad. Because we could hypothetically fly in with a snow speeder and try to pick off a bunch all at once. I think that'd be the call. I'm not even gonna worry about the reinforcements. Yeah, they're all kind of just camping around this spot, so we can probably just snipe them. Like that. Like, do a couple, like, firing runs, basically. So yeah, we got this, potentially, still. It's just gonna be very precarious. It's very goofy, actually, to win this round this way, but hey, it's working. Can't complain. Whatever works. Again, this is just kind of a notoriously hard stage. Just because of, like, the set piece of it and all. It's just kind of complicated. Did they nerf the shot spread? Because I feel like the splash damage should have taken them out, but it didn't. There we go, finally. The last one's by the hangar. I'm gonna park it over here just because. I didn't actually mean to click down the control stick. Nope, they're actually at the other outpost. There are 6 rebels left. Interesting victory. Hey, a win's a win. Can't complain. Scuffed, but we made it. Also, hi, movie footage. 3 more stages. Next up is 2 Bespin levels for episode 5. This is actually kind of interesting because it kind of feels like it ties into Rogue Squadron, because there's a whole mission about Cloud City in that game in the lead up to episode 6. This map is also DLC. I think both of these are DLC for 2. And these are actually really fun, I'd say. These are pretty interesting stages, and I kind of wish they were base game. The first one is actually kind of annoying, though. Again, we're basically down in reinforcements for every stage from here on out. Yeah, I genuinely have enjoyed getting back into Guilty Gear. I think that ultimately, like, straight up was one of the best decisions I've made in a bit for my mental health, is getting, like, reconnecting with this franchise. Like, that might sound kind of, like, exaggerated, I guess. That might sound kind of hyperbolic, but I actually do genuinely believe that. Oh yeah, this is instant kill, by the way, the carbonite chamber, so we're not gonna just casually step in there. Yeah, I really have enjoyed getting into Guilty Gear. I feel like it's resonated with me on an emotional level that's been very helpful throughout the last few years. Again, there's a reason I'm super into the character of Dizzy. It's because she's very, like, it very much resonates with me on an emotional level. And again, it's like, I like I'm talking about this not while even playing Guilty Gear. Just because I'm definitely going on autopilot in this game. Meanwhile, I really want to get back into Blaze Blue, but that's a little bit more of a tall ask, I think. Just because I feel like I'm not really good at Blaze Blue, so I'd have to kind of start from scratch more, because I put so much time into Guilty Gear that I understand it, but like I don't have that much time in Blaze Blue by comparison. I played Continuum Shift a decent amount, I think, but never went too much past that. Never really even settled on a main in that game, and Xrd, or at least in Accent Core, at least had, like, Jam as a main, so when I got back into Guilty Gear, I think I actually went straight to Dizzy, because before getting into Guilty Gear, I think I did do, like, a lore dive into the series, and ultimately did find that, like, yeah, Dizzy's a character I'm into. On an emotional level. Very cool storyline there, so when I got into Xrd, I immediately just went straight to try to learn Dizzy, which is not a good call. She's not an easy character to learn in any incarnation, it feels like. But hey, it worked out. Again, I still don't know how to play her in Xrd, though. I need to get better at that aspect of it. Oh, hi. Also, like, Accent Core, she's more of a set play character in those games, I think, because of, like, the bubble move and the fish having more utility. She's kind of, I've seen some comparisons that she almost plays like a hybrid of old Dizzy and Justice. Which makes sense, 'cause, like, she has the sword move from Justice. So yeah, very interesting version of the character. And again, Strive in general has interesting versions of old characters that are very polarizing because you place her differently. In general, I don't mind because I like Dizzy enough to the point where I'm gonna learn Dizzy. I basically was determined to learn Dizzy. Like, hell or high water, I'm learning this character because I like this character so much on an emotional level. I'm gonna try to make the gameplay work, and this is how I am with all fighting games. Like, I mean, if Pyro and Myth were a bottom tier, I still would have wanted to learn them. It just so happened they ended up being the best characters in the game when they came out, so hey. Actually, I had a decent time with Smash for once in my life. Oh, hi Freeze! Thank you for the raid. I hope the fiesta's going well. Clean X death. Hell yeah, I assume that means it went well. Thank you for the shout out command. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope the stream went good too. We're just playing the original Star Wars Battlefront because it's another game from my childhood. I'm at some point going to have to unlearn me saying childhood games because we're getting to the point where these aren't going to be childhood games much longer. X Death, you killed first try. Omega took almost 2 hours. Oh. See, like, I've never played 5. My guess is Omega's the super boss, and then X Death is the actual boss, but I don't know. Because I still need to play 5 vanilla. Mega's the super boss. Well, at least it makes sense. The super boss would take a bit. What your team comp ended up being like at the end? Because I'm pretty sure you're doing a fiesta run. Again, part of me wants to do a vanilla run first, just to kind of get to grips with it. So I don't, you know, get screwed over by RNG on my first playthrough and get the game spoiled for me, basically. White Mage, Black Mage, Summoner, Ranger, interesting. Well, that's actually a very balanced team, I'm pretty sure. Like, I've seen teams of, like, mostly White Mage by the end, and that's not... Or, like, healer classes by the end, and that's not great. Or if you get, like, all attackers at the end, that's also not great. I stim a lot in games, so if you ever notice me just running in circles, it's basically me stimming. Like, I'll just kind of spin the control stick in circles. I try not to do it with the right stick, because then everyone will want to throw up from motion sickness. I used to do that, and it definitely did not go well. Only Final Fantasy 3 jobs, so none of the really weird jobs. Huh. I didn't know Ranger was in Final Fantasy 3. Shows how much I remember of that game. I played the DS version, to be fair. I played the DS version of 4 and 3, by the way. That was a mistake. I need to give Final Fantasy 4 another chance not on the DS version, because that version deliberately is as trolly as possible. In terms of gameplay balance, Final Fantasy 4 DS feels like a ROM hack of Final Fantasy 4, where it's like, let's take the boss weakness and invert it, just to troll the player. So yeah, definitely a weird version of that game. So part of me wants to... I have the Pixel remasters, part of me wants to go through the Pixel remasters, just to kind of get a better impression of, like, what the game actually should be. I like how coming with additional content in terms of the PSP version is basically seen as a detriment. Like, there are so few games I can think of that with. One is FF4 After Years, and the other is, it's also Square Enix. Chrono Trigger, where it's like, the DS editions in Chrono Trigger actually make the game objectively worse because the ending is bad. It's like, wow, they took this really great ending and just kind of made it really crappy because they had to tie into Chrono Cross in a way that just feels really unfortunate because no one liked that particular character in Chrono Trigger. Someday I'll also play Chrono Cross. There's so many RPGs I still haven't played, and that's my problem right now is, oh no, most of my backlog of, like, games I'm kind of chomping at the bit to play are RPGs, so that's just very awkward. Oh wait, this is this checkpoint. Okay. Like, I swear by the opinion that there have been rumors for ages because there was the 2.5 novel and the Final Fantasy X Will audio drama in the collection. I stand by my opinion that Final Fantasy X-3 is one game that I will actively get upset if it ever gets announced. There are very few games that I will get, like, mad over existing. This might be one, actually, because I don't trust them to do a sequel to Final Fantasy X after the audio drama and everything. Specifically the novel is just so upsetting to me. And again, I haven't, to be fair, I haven't read the novel myself. I've only read what people say about it, and it sounds really bad. As a Final Fantasy X fan, it sounds like actively infuriating, so I've never actually taken the time to try to read it myself, as I don't really like reading good books, let alone ones that are gonna make me angry. But generally the point is, oh, okay, my brain is not working anymore. Also, speaking of not working anymore, I think the final reinforcements to the Empire got stuck. The one in the corner has been there like this whole game. Like this whole round. It'll be faster to just let the time elapse, I think. And to, like, hunt them down. I also want to give Chrono Trigger another chance, because it's been a hot minute since I've tried it. I'll be real, Chrono Trigger is a game that I think is really good, but I actually think it's a little bit overhyped for me, because people make it out to be one of the best RPGs ever, so when I played it, it was like, that's fun, that's fine. I think that had movie audio in it, so that is not immune from the copyright option. Unfortunately. Chrono Trigger is fun but kind of easy. Everyone always says this about RPGs that I'm bad at. Like, everyone's always like, yeah, this game is so easy, and then I'm like, my issue with Chrono Trigger is I struggled with it difficulty-wise. Like, genuinely. That was an issue I had with Chrono Trigger. So it's like, this happens with so many games. Pokemon's the exact same way, where it's like, Pokemon's so easy, and it's like, oh, I'm over here, like, fighting for my life. That's a decision. The camera was not appreciating my shenanigans, I see. There's a certain triple tech that just shreds through a lot of the late game? Ah. I probably didn't know the meta. That's my secret cap. All games are difficult for me. That's kind of sometimes me. I say as I'm also doing a lot of things that are very difficult first try. I was fighting a secret boss in Xenoblade 2 as part of a Blade quest, and I felt kind of bad that I got through it like first try, because I know it's notoriously difficult. And the better part was when I got to the boss's location, dreading fighting this boss, they were already dead. The tombstone was there. It's like, oh, I already fought this? Like, I don't remember fighting this at all, because that was 8 years ago. But apparently I did fight, 7 years ago, but apparently I did fight that particular unique monster. Genuinely surprised me, like, wait a minute, I did this fight? But yeah, the technique I had recently learned about where you just, like, get them to have health and then full burst. Like, damn, that does wonders, actually. That worked very well. That's basically how I did the fight, and it was not that bad. It still took 15 minutes, so it wasn't like an easy fight. But it is interesting that that does seem to be the ticket for that particular encounter. The funny part with Xenoblade 2 is just, I'm learning about things I didn't know about. For example, there's like a thing where if you can do a combo, it'll light up the portrait of the blade that's relevant to. I never knew that. I just noticed it like last night, because like I noticed like Zenobia's portrait was flashing. I was like, wait, why is it doing that? And then it's like, oh, she can do a blade combo or like a launch string. And it's like, damn, how did I not know that until literally this moment? How did I finish Xenoblade 2? I feel like that's a small miracle, given how bad I was at that game. I brute forced a lot of Xenoblade. Ah, hi. TIE Fighter jump scare. Also, one thing about this game is playing it without music is really boring. Like, Star Wars games without music are so, like, dry. Because so much of the Star Wars experience, in my opinion, is aided by the soundtrack. So no music Star Wars is just kind of like, wow, this is really tedious, actually. Which again, is part of the reason I opted against Rogue Squadron. It's like, if I'm gonna do one Star Wars game, I want it to be this one. Though I did contemplate doing LEGO Star Wars as well. I decided against it just because that doesn't have a lot of skippable there are certain cutscenes in LEGO Star Wars that I'm pretty sure are unskippable and do have movie audio, so I'd constantly having to be manually muting, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So that was my logic, at least I think at the time. It's just the unskippable muted audio. What just happened? What just blew up there? The X-Wing? There are also different grenade types in this game that are not in Battlefront 2. So again, in some ways, this game feels a little bit more mechanically deep than Battlefront 2, even though it has fewer features. Oh, those X-Wings are having a time over there. Are y'all okay over there? Oh, nope, they are not okay over there. That answers my question. I'm just kind of babysitting this command post. Like, this has just been my entire round. It's just protecting this one thing. But yeah, this is also something different in Battlefront 1 and 2. In 2, there aren't really any levels that have starfighters in ground maps. These starfighters are only usable in space maps, which kind of sucks in my opinion, not being able to do like ground strikes. But again, for balancing reasons, you can just do strafing runs, so it does actually kind of break the difficulty if you have vehicles in a level like this. Battlefront 2 and the EA games definitely struggle with that a fair amount because of allowing you to just do like strafing runs. And definitely difficulty in those games is all over the place, depending on if you manage to secure a vehicle or not. But again, it's based on like points in 2 and pickups in 1. Plus the vehicles just kind of play like ass anyway in 1. So yeah, again, I have good memories with all the Battlefront games to some extent. 1 and 2 of the originals especially. But again, I even played a lot of the EA game, Battlefront 2. Had a good time with it. And then I just fell out of Star Wars. Entirely, basically. Like, I watched episode 9, which was in some ways as bad and in some ways worse than I thought it would be. Mostly just the lack of any talking in that movie was driving me up the wall a little bit. Like, that certain characters don't say a word for half the movie was just like so confusing to me. It's like, why is like your main antagonist not speaking at all? It's so wild. Like, he's just kind of standing there menacingly, and that's like his role towards the end of that movie, and it's so weird. Oh, they're having some trouble with the vehicles. Oh, they got out of the vehicle. Oh, hello. They are still flying. They're trying to land, but they can't. Also the little droids, you can actually fix them up with a pilot character. I just never take the time to do so. I also just kind of fell out of sci-fi period, because like, you know, Stargate's basically a dead franchise at this point. There was a tactics game for Stargate that I hear was alright, but I never actually looked into it in detail when it actually came out. There's also, Star Trek, where there's been some good stuff out of Star Trek as a series, but I just don't really want to delve into it, because a lot of modern Star Trek is very violent, from what I hear. That's not really my cup of tea. Especially in live action, I don't agree well with violence. I can handle it in games to some extent, but not really in like live action settings. I think that's the big... Man, so many X-Wings are having a bad time. Like, if I get this Y-Wing to help out, they're immediately gonna careen into each other and then we'll both blow up. So I'm just gonna let them vibe, I guess. It's like some Gmod antics over here. Oh god, they stuck the landing somehow. So now it looks like they're all in the central hub area. There's also these like 2 hallways, so these are like just very bad choke points in terms of like just big grenade spam, lots of like just chaos in these little hallways. Damn, that was really smooth actually, despite being down like 50 units. That was way better than how Hoth went. And with that, we should only have 1 level left, Battle of Endor. So this one's very interesting. The shield bunker is a command post, but you have to blow up the command post. However, it's very challenging to do so. It's weirdly sturdy. Like, it has way more health than it should. Final Fantasy IV, the complete collection. I'm also still catching up with chat a little bit. Oh. Yeah, the FF4 and the PSP sprites of Final Fantasy games are also very interesting because they basically redrew everything for the PSP version. And people actually often prefer those sprites as a modern take on Final Fantasy sprites compared to the pixel remasters. They're actually like more simplistic. The pixel remasters kind of like homogenize the style in a way that makes things less complicated, while the PSP remasters make the art style more like detailed. So it's 2 very different approaches to like redoing the original art style. So we have Ewoks helping us at least, so we're not completely on our own. Even though we're down like 50 units at the start, once again, we have the Ewoks to even the odds a little bit. But yeah, it has been enjoyable revisiting this game. I don't think it's a game that's still entirely for me. Again, just for the reasons I've outlined already quite a bit in this playthrough, where it's like... Yeah, I think Star Wars as a franchise is just kind of permanently tainted for me, which is a bummer. But like, a lot of times with Star Wars in particular, I can enjoy a Star Wars game, because as a game, it's so fun. I'm having an alright time. And that goes for like the other games too, like... Jedi Fallen Order, to me, was just a really fun, like, 3D Metroidvania with, like, Souls-like combat. Like, it was just kind of fun as a game. It was actually a game I sold recently, because I'm just so over Star Wars, but, like, it was worth trying, in my opinion, because that was a standalone game on its own merits, so I still thought it was pretty decent. The little bits I've seen of Jedi Survivor, though, actually look more Star Wars-y to me, which actually was a turn-off. Like, it feels like Jedi Survivor goes more into the lore of Star Wars, I guess, and it feels more like a Star Wars game rather than a Metroidvania that is set in the Star Wars universe. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but that's kind of how I approach, like, Jedi Survivor, and that's why I don't mesh with it. What I've seen of it, at least. Plus, it was just broken at launch, and it came out a month before Tears of the Kingdom, so I could not care less. And then by the time they fixed it, I really didn't care about the game. It's like, there are too many games to see if I like this game, but the little bits of it I saw, it's like, yeah, I'm not vibing with the atmosphere of this game as much as the first game. Which is a shame, because again, I did like the first game a fair amount. There are a couple series that I can kind of separate out from people, like Xenoblade is one that definitely I have some negative associations with, but in general I can still enjoy it, just partly because I enjoy Xenoblade so much on a base level, I think. But still, it's like... Maybe that's why I actually prefer, like, 3 over, like, 1. It's just because I don't have that association with 1. Or I have that association with 1 and not 3, so maybe that's why, another reason why I'm like more partial to Xenoblade 1. Yeah, I really hope they can actually finish that trilogy because like they seem like very good games. It's just EA is such a dice roll. Slight pun intended, because I just remembered their one studio's named DICE. And that still makes me mad that like DICE got pulled from Battlefront 2 just as the game was really taking off again too. And just stuck on Battlefield, and it ended up being like the worst Battlefield game at the time or something. Yeah, and the current landscape is bad. Like, you know, Motive just canceled the Black Panther. Was it Motive? No, Motive is doing Iron Man. A different studio was doing Black Panther, and that game basically got canceled. Supposedly, it never even got off the ground. Like, it was still in pre-production, supposedly, after all this time, and it never went anywhere. I know Skydance is doing a Captain America Black Panther game in World War II. The Uncharted writer is doing it, so I'm like mildly intrigued if that ever materializes. I have no faith in Blade from Arcane existing because of Microsoft right now. Like, this is genuinely my take on like superhero games at the moment, is like, I don't think most of them are coming out just because of who's making them. I don't even know if Wolverine's gonna come out from PlayStation, because that game has just gone MIA for 4 years. And I'm very much someone who, if I don't see a game being actively talked about, I assume the worst of development. Like, Metroid Prime even, it's like, that game disappeared for so long, it's like, I'm just gonna assume it's never coming out, because then if it does come out, I'll be, like, pleasantly surprised, but otherwise, I'm not gonna be, like, yearning for this game that may never materialize. To be fair, Nintendo typically doesn't announce games like it and then cancels them. They've cancelled a lot that has never been formally announced, so I almost feel like Nintendo's better about that, but not great, obviously in other ways, but yeah, EA bought so many studios. You know, Microsoft is the EA of this generation, because like EA bought Visceral and like Maxis. It just kind of ruined a bunch of IPs from both studios. But like with PlayStation right now, I have no faith in Marathon. Bungie is just screwing up so horrifically over and over again that yeah, I have no faith in Marathon being remotely good, even if it ever comes out. Because I don't think it's ever coming out. So yeah, I kind of feel like in general, my most anticipated game of the year right now is still Mina the Hollower, which is October 31st. But because it's like Yacht Club, and I want to say Shovel Knight got delayed pretty last minute too, like I'm not even holding out hope that that's gonna be the final release date. Like, this is how jaded I am about the industry sometimes. It's like, a game can have a release date, and I'll still be like, I'll believe it when I see it. I hope I can play Mina the Hollower on Halloween. However, if it also gets delayed, I'm not going to be upset about it, because it's like, I've waited this long anyway for this game, I can wait a little bit longer. The demo is very fun, by the way. So yeah. It's been 3 years, yeah. And it's like Yacht Club games, I don't think would have announced a remaster of Shovel Knight 1 if they weren't confident in Mina being in a decent spot at the moment. Yeah, I do remember Shovel Knight got delayed or maybe I'm thinking it was Shantae actually, that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't even know if I want to talk about the Way Forward thing at the moment, or if I should just not go into that. But needless to say, I'm not like chomping at the bit to like support certain like Way Forward games, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I do like Shantae a decent amount, but like, I mean, right now there's also the problem of if Shantae, because they said, oh, the Risky's Revolution GBA game is gonna get like a console like version at some point. Like, apparently a lot of the like Carbon Engine re-releases on modern platforms that Limited Run has done have been really bad. So it's like, I don't know if I trust that. And then like the cartridges themselves are like really slapdash and very sketchy. Sketchily constructed in a way that was like, I don't trust that. Like, I remember people literally recommending maybe, like, bipping the file off the game cart, just because the cart looks so sus, essentially. Anyway, this got heavier than I meant it to be, because I'm just vibing with this game, and that tends to lead to me just going on, like, soapbox topics. Yeah, I think the gaming industry is gonna go through a rough spot, and it already is, to be honest. Like, if we lose Microsoft entirely from the gaming industry, one, it'll be entirely their fault, and two, it makes me nervous about, like, monopolizing, because then what happens to all their studios, and who will try to buy those up, kind of a thing. Assuming they just stop publishing games at all, and just continue to hemorrhage staff the way they are. Like, there's so many rumors about what Xbox is planning, and like, I don't know if I can stomach buying an Xbox game at this point, if I'm being real. Again, the only Xbox game I'm like remotely considering buying at this point is Psychonauts 2. And that's a game that got a physical release on disc, so I could easily just buy a used copy if I wanted to feel better about it. Anyway, we almost won the final stage of the game, by the way. Yeah, there are other ways. Fun thing, Shantae Advanced literally got put on, like, Internet Archive the day of release. Like, someone already pulled the file and put it up on, like, Internet Archive. It was very fast. I saw people talking about it on, like, Blue Sky. Yeah, the sad part is that's actually better than using the cartridge because the cartridge was so, like, sketchy. Yeah, subscription company first, yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to blow up the shield generator, but it's like so sturdy that like, I don't think I've ever seen it actually blow up. Like, genuinely, I don't think I've ever actually seen this happen. Like, the final reinforcement for the Empire will probably die before we get remotely close to actually blowing up the shield generator. They're trying. Wait, when did I get more grenades? Oh my god, I'm eating my words. They just took out the shield bunker. Hell yeah. And yeah, now they have no command posts, so that does count as a countdown victory. They are fighting that last... The Ewoks are fighting the last stormtrooper here, but time's up. Yeah, it looks like they were still alive. The counter does change to 0 before the countdown fully finishes. So yeah, I think we did win by time over in another stage as well. And more movie footage. So yeah, we don't get credits or anything. That's the game. So yeah, that's Star Wars Battlefront. Again, it is a game that led to me discovering a lot of my favorites. And I still have a soft spot for it, but also like with a massive asterisk attached to it of I like this game. However, there are definitely things about this that kind of don't make me as comfortable. A lot of it has to do with Star Wars as a franchise and like the community surrounding Star Wars. A lot of it has to do with like family being into Star Wars and not being on speaking terms with them anymore. And just a lot of complications. But again, it's still an important game to me, so it is one I wanted to cover nonetheless.